Radio Shack presents the Major League Soccer Game of the Week. Today, we're in our nation's capital as DC United hosts the Columbus Crew. Just one playoff spot is available in the entire league, and that one spot is open in the East. Chicago, New England, Metro Stars, they are confirmed. DC and Columbus, battling today, are fighting for that playoff spot in the East. With us alongside Ty Keogh, I'm Rob Stone. DC United, what a season it's been for them. Started off horribly, had to deal with injuries, national team call-ups, on and off the field situations, but here they are with just 1 point, Ty Keogh. They can return to their glory, at least start making a step there and get in the playoffs.
Well, they've managed to pick up some wins, but they've overcome adversity. Today they'll have to overcome the adversity of not having one of their most experienced attacking players, Ernie Stewart, out with the groin injury. But what DC United has been relying on is the best team defense in MLS statistically.
And they are playing much better as the season progresses. On the flip side, Columbus is really winless in their last 4 games. A lot of situations have to happen for them to get in the playoffs. The most important one, they must earn a victory today. Captain Mike Clark probably sums it up best for all of us.
It's an understatement to say that we're all disappointed. Fortunately, we've realized we still have an inkling of hope to get in there, and we got to take care of business today, and hope for the best next week. But we focused on today because obviously if we fail to get 3 points today, then it's over for us. And we put ourselves in position, and we got to get ourselves out.
Well, he said it best. He said they'd put themselves in this position. They got to get themselves out. It's going to be a little bit tougher today with Brian McBride. The starting lineup with the virus. We don't know whether he's going to get any time at all. He may see some time as a substitute. But a couple words in there that I hear it coming out of Mike Clark. Focus. They're going to need to focus and get the result. Talking to the team today, they seem like they've got the right attitude. They're going down. They're going down fighting.
Well, DC playing without the normal starting goaltender, Nick Raimondo. Tore his left ACL on this harmless-looking play in late September. Now the cage protected by rookie Doug Warren. The Clemson University All-American has to continue to be big if they want to see the postseason.
Now this is big.
Now's the best time to buy wireless phones and accessories during the big sale at Radio Shack.
It's so big. It's
the LG VX6000 camera phone. Take, send, and personalize pictures. Just $149.99 after a $50 Radio Shack mail-in rebate.
It doesn't get any bigger than this.
The big sale. Now at Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
I got a question for the folks at Radio Shack. Who's in charge of spelling around here?
So I got tickets to the game tomorrow night. I wasn't sure if you wanted to go.
Well, it doesn't sound like you want me to go.
What? Of course I want you to go. I just thought maybe, with the crowd and all that.
You'd probably have a better time with Gary.
Gary? No.
Gary. And we'll hook up on Saturday.
Okay. If you're sure.
I'm sure.
Okay, bye-bye. You're in.
Yes!
Here's your chance to get ESPN the Magazine free with no obligation at all. ESPN the Magazine, the hottest sports magazine around. It's what's happening on and off the court. Receive 3 issues of ESPN the Magazine risk-free and get a full year subscription for only $14.97. That's 81% off the newsstand cover price. Get your 3 risk-free issues of ESPN the Magazine now.
Stop at any Columbus H.H. Gregg and visit the ESPN display for your free 3-month subscription to ESPN the Magazine.
You see that? Now, just what compels a man to drive a car like that? Would some style and more power be too much to ask? Not in my world. The 2004 Grand Prix GT with the largest V6 in its class. The new power of Pontiac. That's fuel for the soul.
Now get $2,000 cash back on the 2004 Grand Prix GT. Or choose 0% APR financing. See your Central Ohio Pontiac dealer.
They say 1 is the loneliest number. Not so for DC United. The 3-time Major League Soccer champions need only 1 single point to end years of frustration. Since last winning MLS Cup in '99, the Black and Red have yet to play a postseason game. Today, the most storied club in league history sits in the playoff waiting room, and their number is next. Columbus is discovering that their second season sights may be only a mirage. The preseason Eastern Conference favorites have been cruising in reverse lately, winless in over a month. If the Crew are to play in November, they must win today. Is it time to plan for the offseason or celebrate the postseason? The story begins in 60 seconds.
Introducing the new Pilot from Honda. As big as your imagination.
ESPN2's presentation of Major League Soccer is brought to you by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. Honda, live the drama and the excitement of MLS with Honda. And Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Soccer. Take a look at your starting goalkeepers tonight. Doug Warren making his third ever MLS career start. John Bush making his 23rd start this season. DC in all black going left to right. Columbus, and they're all gold kits going right to left. Ryan Nelson, the captain, a step up. Edson Buttle plays it wide. 50-50 ball. Quintanilla doesn't win it. Denton does. First whistle of the game. Take a look at our starting 11 for the visitors from Columbus.
The hardest working team in America, the Columbus Crew. They better work hard today. They're 4-4-2 in front of John Bush. And across the back, Denton very good coming forward on the left foot. Mike Clark, a leader at the back. You look at the midfield, Masonoff has to support defensively for Martino. We may see some magic out of him today. Good speed on the right out of Brian West. And Cunningham up front started because of McBride's flu symptoms. And Edson Buttle, a rising star in MLS.
Cunningham making his first start since August 16th. He has come off the bench the last two games. They're without Frankie Haydick back in Columbus. Suspended due to accumulation of yellow cards. Brian McBride will not start, but they do think they can get probably about 20 minutes out of him. He's had a viral infection that really started kicking in Wednesday. He practiced a little bit on Wednesday, took Thursday off, basically same with Friday and Saturday, and there he is sitting on the bench. And that is a big gun to have out of the starting 11 when you must win today.
And they will miss Frankie Haydick's rating attacking runs down that right side as well.
Here is basically the playoff situation for these teams, and we really focus on the Crew. They have to win today, have to win next Sunday. DC United has to lose their final two games.
Well, to put positive spin on it, DC United comes up with a tie or a win today. They are in, and they're looking forward to trying to make some impact. We talked to Ray Hudson in the locker room before the game. He says they want to go in there and rattle some cages, get into the playoffs, and maybe scare a few people.
And they want to play the Metro Stars.
Isn't that great?
I love that. We'd like to thank Radio Shack and all of our Major League Soccer sponsors for allowing us to bring you tonight's game without commercial interruption. Look at the starting 11 for the home side, DC United.
Doug Warren in the nets. It's a 4-4-2. Ryan Nelson coming back from national team duty with New Zealand. Mike Petke next to him in the center. Ivanov comes on to the right side. Trudeau on the left. The midfield, a little bit interesting, a little bit offset because Quintanilla likes to pitch in. He's a left footer, so he likes to come into that right side. Cerritos has been called into duty as a midfielder, which was his original position growing up. That's because of Ernie Stewart's injury, and Stoichkov and Martins, the Brazilian, up front.
Gentlemen out of action, and it's a loaded list. Echeverry suspended due to yellow cards. Nick Raimondo out for the year. Ben Olsen out for the year. Ernie Stewart, who knows how much longer he's going to be out. And this will be a throw-in for Columbus. You see Ernie Stewart with the cup in his hand. But, I mean, you talk about Stewart and Olsen not able to play. That's a big blow for a club team. That'd be a big blow for the U.S. national team if those two guys are sitting on the bench and not able to go.
And as DC United coach Ray Hudson told us, he said without Ben Olsen, there's an urgency that's gone out of the team. And he's been on the team all week because he wants to try and have players like a Bobby Convey step up and be that spark.
Jeff Cunningham trying to be a spark. Stood up big time by Brandon Trudeau. Outlets it to Bobby Convey, who's staying on that left side. That ball goes out. Poor ball by Convey, who, as you said, needs to step it up today. Ray Hudson really focused on him. They gave him a couple days off this week, so he came back refreshed and focused. But you get the feeling that transfer to England that did not finally happen is maybe still playing a little bit in his head.
Young player, if he's off balance mentally, it's going to affect his play. But he's been a pro for like 3 seasons, so he is in a situation now where he can make an impact for his club. And That's what you want out of a player of his caliber. There's some stuff off the ball there. Cunningham and Kovalenko mixing it up.
Dima Kovalenko mixing it up?
In-your-face kind of player, no question about that. The second highest foul total in MLS coming into this weekend.
Columbus switches it, looking for Denton. Quintanilla on him immediately, turns it over. Here's Eliseo Quintanilla, who's really provided a big spark for DC about the last month or so. There's Greg Andrulis, head coach of the Columbus Crew, in the option year of his contract. It can be renewed or denied by the team. Obviously, a lot of speculation, as really there should be. If you don't make the playoffs in this league, because only 2 teams don't, you're almost assured to have some pressure on your head. And Ray Hudson, head coach, contract up for renewal at the end of the season as well for Ray Hudson. And there was an article in the local paper this morning concerning Ray's future. And Ray, needless to say, did not really enjoy the article and believe it, right, Eric?
Well, that's for sure. I talked to him before. He's a little bit irate about it, actually. He cares a lot about this team, a lot about the group. I think what he said to the media, I think his message really was there's a lot that still needs to get done, and that's just about it. I think he cares a lot about the team. He doesn't want to go anywhere.
Now, the article went on to say that there's some serious speculation that Ray misses Florida, is not enjoying the D.C. experience. But boy, he was adamant with us, Ty, saying, I would be very disappointed if I was not here next year. I'm looking forward to next year. Yeah, there's some things I'd like to change. Most of it is kind of off the field, but that's his spin, at least.
He's building something.
Absolutely.
And it would be a shame to take him out of a position where he's worked so hard to get it to this point. I mean, sure, it hasn't gone as well as they would have liked this year, but you don't just quit on something when you're right in the middle of it.
No, he wants to reap the rewards of all the hard work that he's already put in, and he has turned the team around, a team that has not made the playoffs since 1999, and here is on the verge of making that step today.
Down the right side, strong run, and Buttle goes for naught.
Ryan Nelson.
Well, they're going to call that a corner now, actually.
Nelson stepping up like a captain should, and he put a lot of miles in the air last week going to Tehran to play and captain New Zealand in a friendly, a 3-0 loss to Iran.
Good call there. Actually, a really good call. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You got to go over and say, look, what did you see? Because sometimes the ref isn't going to see everything. So, he conferred with his ref or his linesman and made the right call.
Call overturned. Now a goal kick. Columbus just woeful here in D.C. In fact, give D.C. credit. They've earned 31 out of a potential 39 points in home games versus Columbus.
Yeah, it's not been a good place for the Columbus Crew, particularly in clutch situations. One of the great old rivalries of MLS was DC United eliminated Columbus in 97, 98, and 99 in the Eastern Conference Finals of the MLS playoffs.
And Tom Fitzgerald and Columbus couldn't quite get over that DC bugaboo created by Bruce Arena. Nelson stumbles on the ball. Big Buttle coming through. Rolls through Kovalenko. Buttle has a man on his right. Fires one. Hits the hard stuff. A volley goes wide. Warren got a piece of that one. But the first big break goes the Columbus way.
A thunderous shot by Edson Buttle.
He fights him off. He gets in a spot. This is what you do. You recognize you got that kind of space. You just take a shot. That's exactly what you have to do. We've seen this before. This DC United team early in games, they back off. They let those outside shots come, and that's what you do. You take advantage of it. What a shot!
And he got all of it. And hey, give Warren some credit for reacting well in goal for DC.
Well, I mean, you should make those saves from that distance. You really got to find a upper or lower corner to beat a keeper from that distance. But pretty good save. With saying that, still a pretty good save.
Well, mostly because of the power that Edson Buttle managed to put behind that shot. It was a heavy shot.
Dylan Ivanov to Quintanilla. Ivanov, long ball, outlet, looking for Martins, who is completely wrapped up by Clark. No call. Throw in.
That's
going
to be a very good physical battle today. Both of those take the type of approach that you're going to have to go through me, and Clark's going to be all over Martins.
Thiago Martins, a Brazilian by nature, but Ray Hudson said plays a little more like an Argentinian. You're used to that craftiness from the Brazil players, and he's got a bigger body that can power through you and make some of those driving, punishing runs.
He doesn't really dance like a Ronaldinho.
No.
He's a power player.
But he's something that DC has needed. Frankly, a player that could take some physical punishment up front. It's too bad he doesn't have a Ben Olsen running around off of him as well. Or an Ernie Stewart.
Let's check in with our Pepsi Pop quiz. This is for all you English majors out there this week. Who is the only MLS player with all 5 vowels in his last name? You know all the vowels, right, Ty, Eric? Right?
That was a long time ago.
U-V-R-S.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Here's Bobby Convey. Convey on his right. Fired that one well wide.
You see the acceleration, though, and the confidence to go at defenders. Convey has a couple of extra gears, but what he doesn't have is confidence with the right foot shot. The player that throughout most of his career has been a left-sided player and showed a bit there.
That has to be better.
That's not his strength. Definitely not his strength, but it's got to be a good thing for DC to see him getting the ball and starting to run at people because he's very effective.
Eric, that's kind of a first sign when you know a guy's getting his confidence back too, isn't it? When he starts taking on players.
Definitely.
Wide left, Brandon Prideaux tracks it down in the bright sun on the far part of the field and then loses it.
Well, that wouldn't be one of Brandon's strengths either, is taking people on.
We're all about finding the negatives on these players today so far.
Well, the one thing that I do see, is DC struggling to get the ball out of their own end. And when they do, it just seems to just come right into the feet of Columbus defenders, and then they're the ones that are taking the initiative right now. It's a very interesting game because you got two teams. One of them is like, all we need to do is tie. The other one's we have to win. So it's interesting to see how this will play out.
Well, you would suspect that DC United can afford to be a bit more conservative in their play, maybe lay back a little bit.
They're showing it right now.
And look for counterattacks because, hey, the onus is on the Columbus Crew to get players forward and get a result out of this game, which could leave them vulnerable to counters going the other way.
But one of the worst mentalities you could have going into a game is playing for a tie. Hristo Stoichkov has been quiet thus far. Still has it as he dribbles through the midfield. And swings it wide left to Prideaux. Ryan Nelson on the ball. He'll be the focus of our halftime feature with Veronica Pacey. Here's Ronald Cerritos. Hasn't seen a whole lot of touches. We're seeing that middle of the midfield today. Horrible ball. Ivana, very fortunate to get it back. Kovalenko. Some news on Dima Kovalenko this week that we'll have later in the broadcast for you. Stoichkov, cheeky, back heel. Hustle by Kyle Martino to win it back, and West just gets rid of it and puts it right back at DC. Martins, one time. Stoichkov keeps it alive. Buttle, bumped off. Ivana sending Quintanilla in. Clark cuts in front, and that'll be a goal kick. Well, Columbus has 3 big offensive guns, but the 3 of them have not had much time on the field together. In fact, they've had 1 hour exactly. Jeff Cunningham, Edson Buttle, and Brian McBride have only been on the field together for 60 minutes this season. And yes, they do play basically the same position, but still, you need 3 big guns on the field at the same time, more than that.
Well, and those 60 minutes only occurred because they put Buttle out wide as an attacking midfielder and left Cunningham and McBride in the center as the 2 strikers.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it is 30 minutes of that happened in the very first game of the year.
Right.
Cunningham back to West. Denton, the lefty, and the service. Flicked away by Nelson. Martino was just off target, missing that one.
Pretty good cross, too.
Ross Pauly by Mazonoff.
Club's Crew switched things up a little bit, and they've done some of this. Brian West coming over to the left side, and Ross Pauly playing the right side of midfield. We had it listed the other way around in the lineup.
Cunningham, double team, loses it. Martin trying to settle it, gets it on the second try.
Still struggling to find ideas going forward right now.
Cerritos in traffic.
Stoichkov dropping back into midfield more and more. Quintanilla then pushing up and adding to the attack.
Hristo, The lefty chip finding Cerritos. Off his line was John Bush.
Well, Stoichkov demanding more runs out of his teammates. And, you know, Ray Hudson is sometimes worried, I think, about the negative aspects of Stoichkov really getting on the players around him.
Yeah, that's not to think. I did not know.
Yeah.
Mike Pecky slides it out. You know, Ray said that to us today. Hey, we need positive energy and focus from Cristo. Next Sunday, the MLS regular season comes to a close as the Crew hosts the best team in MLS, the Chicago Fire. Ante Razov, DeMarcus Beasley and company. They are your Eastern Conference champions. 4 Eastern on ESPN2 live next Sunday. Chicago with a win last night wraps up the Supporters Shield. They're feasibly, San Jose could catch them on points, but the tiebreaker goes to the Fire. The Fire also victorious this week in U.S. Open Cup play, so they are on the verge of unheard of territory, the triple.
A possible triple, and of course the Supporters Shield symbolizes the Major League Soccer regular season champions. Chicago Fire have wrapped it up.
Free kick for the Crew, scoreless in the 16th. Ross Pauly to strike it. Sends it in, crashing, almost off a shoulder blade, I believe, of Mike Clark, and that goes over the bar. Goal kick for DC, your MLS News and Notes. Chicago victorious on the road 1-0 over the Metro Stars to win the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. And Ben Olsen and Dima Kovalenko signing contract extensions this week.
Well, it's a shame. Ben Olsen, I talked to him before the game, and just shaking your head. He had started all 26 games this season in MLS for DC United, coming up with that injury, and he was just starting to taste the playoffs. He says, I haven't played in a playoff game since 1999 with DC United. And in fact, that was the 99 MLS Cup where he was named MVP.
It's a left MCL that is keeping him out for the season. Surgery not necessary. He's out about 6 to 8 weeks, and on his spare time, you know what he's doing? Do you? He's assistant coaching at American University.
I heard you talking about that.
That's right. They took on my alma mater, Colgate, yesterday in D.C. There's a break for Brian West. Oh, Bush just clears him out. Or rather, Warren. Warren is coming up limping.
Warren,
Stoichkov. Beautiful switch.
Warren got off his line in a hurry there.
Here's Bobby Convey. Convey again. Cunningham. Doug Warren limping back into his frame. Cunningham by 1. Slows it down. A little burst. Petke on him and Kovalenko. And that'll go for a corner kick.
But when I spoke to Greg Andrulis, the Columbus Crew coach, before the game, he said Jeff Cunningham is going to be one of our big threats one-on-one. But this is a beautiful through ball from Martino. But Warren, very alert to it, gets off of his line. Look at Martino, just slips it through their good vision here. And West is upended by a charging Doug Warren.
That has Charlie Horse written all over it. Big kid, Doug Warren, All-American at Clemson University, the rookie. Near post. That'll be another corner kick as Duncan Houghton just missed a header on that one off the DC United defender. Third corner of the game for the Crew. Buttle and Martins tangling there.
You know, they've had him pinned for a while here. You know, there's a couple of good chances. Just trying to feel it out, trying to get a goal here.
Short corner, Martino. Cuts left. low service. And Kovalenko finally clears it out. Finds Stoichkov. He's not going to beat Ryan West in the foot race. I can guarantee you that. Sloppy back ball. Conti intercepts it and he's tripped up. We play on. Stoichkov would like to have that one back. Had Quintanilla lurking square, but Bobby Conti still down on the turf.
The advantage played, but very clearly a foul. Yellow card comes up. Eric Denton receiving the yellow card. Denton did get the yellow card, even though they played on after. As he gets there late, he clips Convey on the left ankle. They played on because Stoichkov was in possession down that right side and tried that ill-advised early ball to Quintanilla that was cut out. But the referee doing the correct thing, coming back and giving Denton the card after the play.
First card of the game goes to Eric Denton in the 20th minute. We go downstairs to Eric Ronaldo with Greg Andrulis in our Radio Shack Coach's Corner.
All right, Coach, pretty good start. I mean, you've been in there in pretty much the first 20 minutes of this game. What do you see right now?
Well, we do have to press it, and obviously we're getting there. We just got to get some better chances. It would be great to get Brian West in the game a little bit. We just haven't utilized both sides. We're pretty one-sided right now. And as we saw, DC's pretty dangerous on the counterattack, and we've got to handle that.
What about the other Brian McBride? Is he going to get any time today? If hopefully not, if things go well, but are we going to see him today?
He's pretty sick. He's got a virus that has been going through the team, and unfortunately for him, it happened around a game time. Most of the other guys had it during the week. But, you know, if necessary, he's a warrior. He'll get out there and help us.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Well, a couple of things have looked hopeful for Columbus. The one-on-one dribbling of Cunningham looks dangerous when he's able to go at the DC United defense. Also, we've seen Kyle Martino take on Kovalenko in the box. We've seen some danger coming through. And Buttle with the long-range shot threatened as well. So Columbus at least starting to show that they could threaten the goal.
Christo Stoichkov now receiving a yellow for dissent. This is exactly the type of thing Ray Hudson did not want from his star forward.
Yeah, Cerritos gets it to Stoichkov, and Stoichkov shielding the ball well here.
Now, Christo had that elbow and arm up trying to shield out, and I think that's what the whistle was for, and that's a soft whistle. He should be upset, but
no, there was a little something there. There was a little bit of an elbow thrown, and I think it's a good job by the referee to say, hey, look, I'm not tolerating that today.
Abby Okalaja, the referee, the man in the middle, and I'm sure all refs look forward to a game that involves Christo Stoichkov. Cunningham lays it off. Martino can't connect. Here's West. Fires. Broken up. Mazanoff. Poor ball intercepted. Convey finds Stoichkov, who turns and loses it. Brian West again. Still with it. Looking for Cunningham. Slowed down by Petke. Goal kick DC. Cunningham has been awfully dangerous in the early stages of this one. Cunningham led the Crew last season in goals and points. Had 16 goals, 37 points this year. 4 goals and 14 points. Granted, this is only his 13th start of the year, dealing with some injuries.
Cunningham, one of the most electrifying players in the league when he's healthy and when he's able to get defenders in one-on-one situations. Explosive speed and confidence on the dribble. He can open things up for Columbus, who are desperate. They need goals to get a result here to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Long ball. Ivanov does not time it well. Petke's there on backup, lands hard on his left shoulder, and he's still down.
Petke dominant in the air. He went over the top of Edson Buttle on this play. Came down awkwardly. There's Buttle jumping in a little bit backwards. Yeah, Petke. Yeah, it's the landing certainly that was the problem for Petke.
No foul on the play. Columbus with the throw in. Martino loses it to Martins. Martins splitting 2. Almost kept up his balance.
Martino's going to narrowly escape a yellow card here for the professional foul. Martin splits 2 defenders here. He gets Denton going the wrong way. Denton really has to lay off. He already has a yellow card. Martino just gets a stern talking to.
Pretty good moves from the big guy.
Yeah, I agree. Martins, who played the majority of the season in the A-League, where he led the league and was the MVP for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Martins, a native of Sao Paulo.
Loaded in. Oh, it's a high boot there. They didn't go whistle. Trudeau pushes off and wins it and plays it back. Welcome to Radio Shack presents the MLS Game of the Week in our nation's capital. It is the Columbus Crew who must win today to keep their playoff hopes alive at D.C. alongside Ty Keogh and Eric Winaldo. I'm Rob Stone. Columbus in the gold. D.C. wearing the all-black. Scoreless in the 25th minute. These two teams fighting for the final playoff spot in the league. And it all leads to MLS Cup 2003. November 23rd from the Home Depot Center in Carson, California. Game you can see live on ABC Sports. Cerritos, square ball, finds Trudeau.
DC trying to clinch their playoff spot without Ernie Stewart, without Ben Olsen, without Marco Echeverri. Echeverri suspended. El Diablo in purgatory.
In DC United, they only need a tie. Frankly, they only need 1 point in their final 2 games, and they will clinch that spot. There's a gap. Mike Petke's got an own goal. Well, give Brian West the credit. He toe-poked it home. Oh, boy, is that going to kill you. 1-0 Crew in the 26th.
Well, that comes down to a total lack of communication from the rookie goalkeeper, Doug Warren. He's coming off of his line. Petke thinks he's still in the net. And if he just screams to Petke, clear it, or if he just says, leave it. But the breakdown of communication makes it very easy for Brian West. And it's pretty obvious that Warren did not give any verbal instructions to Petke on that play.
Well, you nailed it. It is this lack of communication. That's all that was.
Brian West, his 4th goal of the year in the 26th minute.
The lesson there is assume nothing. Absolutely nothing. You have to communicate with each other.
Now, Mike Petke laid a beautiful soft header right to where the keeper should have been.
The best assist he's ever had.
Yeah.
And if Warren's coming off his line like that, he has to be screaming keeper so that Petke gets out of his way, and then Warren could collect it.
Exactly.
Now you know, I know he's a rookie goalie, but he's been playing that position for years and years and years. That is a simple call to make. There is no excuse for that.
That's what I'm saying. Just don't assume anything. As a goalkeeper, you've got to be extremely vocal with your players at all times. Sometimes it gets annoying, but it's times like that you realize how important it is that you've got to constantly communicate with each other.
It's funny, Ray Hudson mentioned to us in the locker room when talking about Doug Warren that he's kind of a withdrawn personality. He's not one of those out there kind of goalkeepers like Nick Raimondo is, but that he's been doing the job. But on that one, I think the fact that he's not a take-charge personality cost DC United.
West to Cunningham. Looking for space. Paulie, the dummy, thought Buttle was there. There's Stoichkov. Stoichkov getting the start again today because Ernie Stewart, a late scratch due to a groin injury. So Stoichkov up top, Ronald Cerritos in that middle of the center of the midfield.
I'll tell you right now, guys, I can't figure out what position he's playing.
Cerritos?
I really can't.
Cerritos or Stoichkov?
Stoichkov.
Ryan Nelson, some ambitious dribbling, and is burned. Martino to step up, then Nelson wins it back.
Eric, it's very easy. Stoichkov is playing whatever position he feels like.
You're not kidding.
That's what he's always done, even when he played with Barcelona, and when he played with Bulgaria's national team in the World Cup. He's used to the team adapting to his pure genius at times, frankly, with that left foot.
Needless to say that the offensive triangle of Stoichkov, Martins, and Cerritos probably don't have a whole lot of playing time experience together, especially in the roles they're playing today.
Well, look where he's picking up the ball. I mean, this is something that an offensive midfielder would do. And it puts Ronald Cerritos in a no-win situation because he really doesn't know where else to go. He's got somebody else doing his job for him, and he still has a defensive responsibility. So
well, I'll disagree there, Eric, a little bit, because those positions can be interchangeable. It's not like Cerritos has never played as a forward.
Well, I know. I'm saying that if he decides to go forward, he knows that he's going to be responsible for Mazonoff, and Stoichkov ain't going to chase him.
Stoichkov will not cover for him defensively.
Exactly. So it's not actually an exchange. It's just a...
It's a one-way exchange.
Exactly.
Eric Denton with the foul. Free kick for DC United. This one of the reasons Stoichkov is out there. Very accurate, powerful left foot for a service or a shot. Drives it in, won by Mike Clark.
Big shoving match going on in the box before the ball coming in. Duncan Alton, part of it. Of course, Kovalenko is always in there.
Convey, John Bush. Small guy comes up big off his line. Nice outlet. Here's Cunningham. Flips it up, trying to go over Nelson. Gets his head on it. Petke's there in support.
Hey, Nelson cannot match Cunningham for speed. But what he is doing is anticipating well, and he's also making sure he has a body on Cunningham.
Convey. DC down 1-0. Brian West with a thank you very much goal in the 26th minute. It was about 3 inches away from being an own goal, and he just walked in to slide it the final distance across the line.
And you bet he was going to make sure he got there, too.
Absolutely.
Greedy goal scorers.
Fourth goal looks as good as the first three. Here's Cerritos.
Well, at that point, Petke was probably rooting for him.
Rather than have the own goal put on his record.
Come on, buddy, get there.
Hey, he's happy it wasn't a slow guy chasing it. Square ball finds Martino.
DC with 3 players caught upfield, because just like Eric said, Cerritos going forward, and then Stoichkov not coming back for him.
Quintanilla pokes it away from West. Throw in for the Crew. There's Martino again. Oh, eludes Kovalenko. Fires. Buttle lays it off to Cunningham. Cunningham trying to place that one far.
I'll tell you what, that is right in the top corner if it doesn't get blocked.
Yeah, Nelson got his face in the way of it. But what I like, again, that's the second time that Martino has gone straight around Kovalenko on the dribble. And that's going to open things up for Columbus as they gain a little bit of confidence with that goal. And there's a complete screw-up by Doug Warren and Mike Petke. Mostly Warren, because he's got the play in front of him, and he's the one that has to communicate to Petke.
Convey and Prideaux playing a game of catch. DC doing nothing but going negative here.
Well, DC looking like a team that knows they only need a tie to qualify for the playoffs. And as you said, very, very early in the game, Rob, that is a bad sort of attitude to come into a game with. It can backfire.
DC has one more game after this. They host Kansas City next Saturday night. And the Crew in action next Sunday afternoon live on ESPN2 when the Eastern Conference champion Chicago Fire come to town. The Fire have to be prohibitive favorites right now to move to MLS Cup. But as we have seen in years past, once you get to the MLS playoffs, anything can happen.
Well, Kovalenko here making a play to try to slow up Martino. He's been beaten by him once in the one-on-ones, as I mentioned, and I think he's trying to put a stop to that by coming in pretty hard there on Martino.
Brian West filling out your Bud scoring summary, the game's only goal, coming in the 26th minute, his 4th of the year. 16 fouls in this one already, 10 on DC. Excellent step up by Kovalenko. To his former Chicago friend, Hristo Stoichkov, lays it off. Kahn streaking down the left side. That one partially broken up. Martins was lurking.
Mark Williams on the clearance there. Northern Ireland international Williams. Center back alongside of Mike Clark.
Williams is a big, thick body back there. He's got a ton of experience as well. Time to wrap up our Pepsi Pop Quiz. Who is the only Major League Soccer player with all 5 vowels in his last name? And it is the new father, Brian Mazanoff, holding a picture of Jacob Conrad, he and Diana's first child, born September 11th. Congratulations to Brian and
count those vowels.
Diana. Yes, you are our Pepsi Pop Quiz answer.
Poor Jacob, he has to learn how to spell that.
Yeah. You know, most kids have problems with Mississippi.
Yeah.
How about Mazanoff?
How about the printer that has to put the name on the jersey?
How about the school teacher? Jacob Mazanoff. Here's Denton, wins it. Right to Kovalenko, though. And Ryan Nelson steps up, bangs it off the body. Here's Prideaux finding Stoichkov, who's now playing a more of a forward.
He's back in his office over there. He loves to operate from that far left side. He has the whole field open up for him, and he can pinpoint those diagonal passes. That left foot, very accurate with it from even 60, 65 yards.
I think he was just waiting for it to get covered with shade.
That's an old Valderrama trick. El Pibe.
That one won by Prideaux, and it finds Bobby Convey. Lefty service, Stoichkov and Williams. Stoichkov has it, position, and takes a dive, and earns the PK. Oh, the vet got himself a goodie there. Let's watch this one again to see if it's legit.
He went down very easily. He may have been fouled, but he certainly went down like a ton of bricks. Good little ball here by Convey. In behind, Williams a little bit out of position. Stoichkov gets behind him. And you know what? Williams held him briefly, but hey, but Stoichkov, as soon as he feels the hander, he's going down no matter what. Look at him. So he makes the most of it. But you'll see right here, there's a grab right there by Williams with the left arm onto the shoulder, Stoichkov's left shoulder. So he makes it pay. It was a very minor bit of contact.
If there's any justice, he'll miss.
Stoichkov.
That was bad.
It's a foul, though.
Stoichkov will take it. DC 7 for 7 from the PK spot. Make it 8 for 8. We're tied at 1.
Benny Olsen clapping on the DC United bench behind Ray Hudson. It's great to see. Too bad he can't be a part of this, but Eric, you're a forward. You're in behind the defender. We'll see Stoichkov. How casual is this? Well, he gets a push to go the wrong way and nonchalantly rolls it into the net.
Stoichkov's second penalty kick goal of the year, his 4th total. We are now tied at 1 in the 37th minute.
No, they're very different goals, but they were both gifts. He has every right to be upset. That was a pretty big, you know, he just dove.
Well, what you want to see, you want to see the guy at least try to stay up, and then have the referee make the call.
At least fight it or ride it or something, but that was not the, that wasn't the best call.
Then it's up to the referee to decide whether the tug on Stoichkov's left arm was bad enough.
How to earn a penalty kick. Even though it did the job, it was ugly.
No, in fact, sometimes it forces the referee to not give you the call.
Yeah.
Because it just looks too blatantly like you're making it up, even though there was some contact.
I've seen yellow cards given for those.
Yeah, and let's remember, Stoichkov is playing with the yellow already.
So you had the choice there of giving Stoichkov a red card or giving him a penalty kick.
One will make him happy, one will make him very volatile.
No, he's going to stay volatile anyway.
Yeah, good point. Kovalenko goes down on a foul. One more look at that penalty kick call.
We will see the contact. Stoichkov here, he's in behind Williams. Williams grabs him once, and he grabs him again at the back of the neck a little bit. But Stoichkov, that's not enough to take down a guy as strong and as powerful as Stoichkov.
Now Kovalenko milking this one. Brian Mazanoff will now be playing with a yellow card. 3rd yellow of the game. Eric Denton, Christo Stoichkov, and Brian Mazanoff with them. One more look at the foul that has Kovalenko.
Mazanoff actually really attempts to make a fair challenge here. He just doesn't quite get there in time. You know, and in fact, he even tried to get out of the way once he saw he wasn't going to get to the ball. But he does clip Kovalenko after the ball is gone and receives the yellow card for the late challenge.
Just don't show me the penalty kick again. I can't stop laughing about it. I'm sorry.
Is it the arch of the back, Eric? Was that it? Or?
Hey, let's roll that penalty kick for Eric. Watch the hands. Oh, well, here's the shot. But we want the foul. There's Stoichkov tying it up in the 37th minute.
It's always entertainment, isn't it?
No, here we go. I'm going down.
Whoa, where are the snipers?
Well, he tickled him on the back of the neck, so that was enough.
That's horrible.
He'll do it again, too.
Oh,
he's not done. Once he gets within 30 yards, he's going down.
Hey,
because that's a free kick.
He did it against Germany in the '94 World Cup quarterfinal, and it paid off.
And it just fouled Ross Pauly right there. Yeah, you're right, Eric. He better be careful because he's playing with the yellow.
You know what he'll do is he'll calm down now a little bit. He does have a goal. He's not going to be yelling and as much as he usually is. But now that he's got a goal, hopefully he'll calm down a little bit. But that yellow card should be the reason why he calms down. But unfortunately for Risto Stoichkov, it's the goal that calms him down.
Here's Cunningham. Oh, splitting and cutting. Poked away. Martino. Deft chip. Trying to find West. Ivanov heads it back to Warren, who is in position this time and has a nice outlet to Cerritos. Oh, Ronald. Show me the dribbling, son, and continue with the burst.
Sweet. Smart player. He always knows how to hold the ball.
And this is a guy, when told about the opportunity to play in the middle of the park, his face lit up and all smiles, and he was ecstatic. Ray Hudson was a little, not sure what Ronald would think about dropping back to the center of the midfield. Boy, he's very comfortable there.
Cerritos has played in the midfield for El Salvador. He grew up as a midfielder. It's only in MLS where he's been a forward.
John Bush pulls in that Stoichkov floater intended for Quintanilla. Coming up in a couple minutes at the break, Veronica Pacey will join us. She'll spend some extra time with DC captain Ryan Nelson. Youth Soccer Spotlight and highlights from around the league. Last night's big game at the Meadowlands between the Metro Stars and the Rev that has some big playoff implications. We'll have the sights from that one. Giveaway by Kovalenko, Buttle, Martino, Cunningham. Not on his favored right foot, but his left, and he's stoned. A foul back there and a quick restart by Convey, who's showing some new energy here.
Well, it was Convey's pass that set up the situation where Stoichkov was able to draw the penalty kick call with the dive.
Kovalenko switches it. Nice change. And there's Stoichkov again, kind of playing that midfield role. Convey, one-time ball, looking for Martins. Clark was there with the step up.
Well, Columbus, again, showing some pretty good signs of being able to generate another goal. Martino looks sharp today. Cunningham looks confident in the dribble. And Buttle's always dangerous.
Cerritos, handball on that possession. And I'll go to Columbus.
There's a bunch of little things that are happening right now that are the ref has got to get this game under control, because the little things are going to make it crazy. Got to start just having a conversation with these guys before somebody gets either hurt or thrown out.
I think a lot of these guys, Eric, what you're detecting is they're working the referee. They're trying these little things away from the ball. They're trying to upset the concentration, the focus of their opponents, and seeing what they can get away with. And they're getting away with too much.
Quintanilla. Convey. Brian West.
Look at the space Martino has, too.
4v4 here for the crew. And now DC back in numbers. Here's Edson Buttle facing frame. Laying it off to Martino. Duncan out. Sends this one in. Looking for Buttle. Ivanov wins it. Nazanoff, he can pop it from there. Broken up. Quintanilla just drills it. Now,
I think it hit Cunningham, his own player.
Martins still alive. Ripped jersey and all. We play on. Martins! First MLS goal? No! Somebody needs a new jersey. Great save by Bush. And we've got another card coming out.
Big save there by John Bush. But the shirt pull brings out the yellow card. Hey, we said he's a power forward. He's really more like an Argentine than he is a Brazilian, and he showed it there.
If you can do that to Williams, you are a power forward.
Yeah,
Mark Williams is a big boy, 6 foot 169. He now has a yellow card. 4 yellows in this game. This now the second corner of the half for DC.
Yellow card to Mark Williams, and boy, Martin's just pulled away from him.
And here is Martins colliding, not winning it.
New uniform style for DC United. Maybe.
Yeah, ton of space here. Outlet looking for Cunningham, turning on the Jets. Warren is off his line and wins this one.
I don't think DC United knew these were tearaway jerseys.
Exactly. Long outlet, and that'll fall to Bush.
Looks like Martins is wearing a cape.
It's not a good look regardless.
Thinks he's a superhero now. I'll tell you what, he would have been a superhero had John Bush not made that save. That was a critical save, I think. If you look back at the end of this game, we have to remember that John Bush stopped Martins there on the breakaway.
A very good save. To get down low like that fast.
3 minutes of stoppage time. Long ball sent in. Buttle crashing. Petke wins it.
Well, how psychologically devastating would it be after leading 1-0 Columbus to go into the locker room down 2-1 if Bush doesn't stop Martins on that last attempt?
Prideaux, great overlapping run. Gets it from Stoichkov. Convey at the near post. Here's Cerritos at the top. Pops it up. Volley gobbled up by Bush. Well, less than 2 weeks after the 2003 Women's World Cup, the U.S. Women's National Team back in action as they take on Italy. You can see that one live this Wednesday evening, 8 Eastern from Kansas City on ESPN2. For more information, log on to ESPNSoccerNet.com. 5th shot of the game by DC. Another save by Bush. Buttle wins that one. Petke heads it back to Warren, and Petke's talking to Warren on that one.
Stay at home.
Saying that's where you should be.
Stay at home, son.
Well,
I think I know what he just said there.
That one, yeah, that still burns, does it? Even though they've managed to tie the game.
We're cable, but we're not that loose. A hold whistled there on DC.
The center of midfield for DC, a little bit of a problem because we are seeing Martino with a lot of space in there, and even times when Buttle has dropped into midfield, he's had time to look up as well.
Ron West spins away. Back to Denton. Lefty looking for Buttle. Petke's there. Pauly still has it. Oh, excellent ball to find West. Bryant puts one in. Far post. Crashing header. Nice save and an excellent distribution to find Cerritos. And here comes DC right back at you. Cerritos. Oh, Martino lucky to get away with that one. Kovalenko finds Convey with space, thinking, laying it off to Prideaux. Less than a minute left in this first half. 3 minutes of stoppage time had been added. Again, DC United needs only a tie and they will advance to the playoffs. The Crew must win today, or all their chances will disappear for postseason. Kovalenko. And he loses it. Here's Cunningham. Time for one last chance by the Crew. Buttle. Williams. Out. This should just about do it for the first half. And it is. After the first 45 and change, we're tied at 1.
Well, it was almost 2-1 for DC. A great run, a powerful run. Thiago Martins, as he gets past Mark Williams, Williams grabs onto his shirt, tears most of it away. Martins puts a good move off of onto Mike Clark, and a save here down low, reaching across. John Bush saves the day for Columbus.
We go from offense to defense. Ryan Nelson, captain of his club and country, and In this week's Extra Time feature, he answers the question, are there any dorks on this DC United team?
This year, for the very first time, he was voted an MLS All-Star. DC United head coach Ray Hudson has placed all his confidence on this New Zealand native. Let's spend a little extra time with DC United midfielder Ryan Nelson.
It's been such a weird season. Like we've played so well in some games and come out with nothing. And then recently we've played so bad in one game. So I suppose that's why soccer's such a cool game, I suppose. But, you know, the parity in this league is unbelievable. Like, I mean, I don't think anybody here can clearly say who's going to win this competition this year. It's so even. So, I mean, you've really got to have a lot of luck. And you've got to make your own luck. And I always believe you make your own luck. So make your own luck by working hard. And as I say, put the old roll the sleeves up and get the job done. And I think we'll get close. But, you know, the league's so good now. The parity is so even that I think you need a bit of a luck and you need a, you know, we need to take a few four-leaf clovers in the pockets maybe. So they're all a bunch of great guys. And I think that's why the team's kind of getting back to a bit of success, because, you know, we had a number of opportunities where it could have gone really downhill really quickly, but I think just because everybody's a good guy and there's no like dorks on the team, everybody gets along, so that helps out big time.
Thank you, Veronica. When we return, Eric Winall will be joined by Mike Petke, who will tell us what happened on that play that gave Columbus their first goal. 1-1 at the break. Radio Shack presents the Major League Soccer Game of the Week.
Is it or is it not true that you kicked and pummeled the plaintiff in the plain view of over 60,000 witnesses?
It's true.
And what did you and your malicious co-conspirators do next?
We cheered.
As this poor, battered soul lay, defenseless and deflated.
You didn't tell me you cheered.
Bud Light, proud sponsor of the U.S. Women's National Team in the FIFA Women's World Cup.
We're toast.
Now this is big.
Now's the best time to buy wireless phones and accessories during the big sale at Radio Shack.
It's so big. It's
the LG VX6000 camera phone. Take, send, and personalize pictures. Just $149.99 after a $50 Radio Shack mail-in rebate.
It doesn't get any bigger than this.
The big sale. Now at Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
I got a question for the folks at Radio Shack. Who's in charge of spelling around here?
Good morning, sunshine. Hey. Oh, I found your tickets on the 50-yard line. What the heck is riboflavin?
Check out the throwback, bro. Try on the old school Astros.
Wake up with us. Try a little cold pizza. The new morning show, 7 a.m. on ESPN2. Sports, lifestyle, news, whatever. Cold pizza. It's a morning show with everything. Starting tomorrow at 7 a.m. on ESPN2.
Promises, promises. DSL promises they'll give you high-speed internet, but check the facts. You have to live within 3 miles of their local facility. No wonder 2 out of 3 households nationwide with high-speed internet use cable-based technology, like Roadrunner High-Speed Online. You can get Roadrunner almost anywhere you can get cable. It's easy, and that's not an empty promise.
Call Time Warner today, 481-5320 for a free installation and special offer.
The Hyundai Accent. The only car in its class with the added safety of standard front side impact airbags. 29 miles per gallon in the city, 33 on the highway. And only the Accent is protected by America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Looks like you win. Test drive the Hyundai Accent. Nicely equipped for just $90.39 at your Hyundai dealer. Hurry into the Hyundai winning season clearance and get $1,500 cash back or 0% APR at your local Hyundai dealer.
ESPN2's presentation of Major League Soccer is brought to you by Budweiser. The best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. The U.S. Soccer Foundation, continuing to enrich lives through soccer across the United States. And Honda. Live the drama and the excitement of MLS with Honda. DC and Columbus fighting for that final playoff spot in the East. We are tied at 1s at the break. We go downstairs. Mike Petke with Eric Winalda.
All right, buddy. What happened on that play? Hey, I mean, I know my surroundings. I've been playing that position all my life. There was no one around. And he came out and yelled away at the last second. And any other day, that's a head ball right back to the keeper. And it was just miscommunication. All right, well, it's still 1-1. You get the second half. Well, I mean, it looks to me like you're having difficulty getting out of the back and finding the forwards. Am I seeing it wrong?
No, I mean, that's what's been happening all year. You know, it's something that, you know, we just have to deal with at this point. You know, I mean, we're playing foul defensively, and, you know, they got a lucky goal, and we need to put the ball in the net.
All right, well, good luck second half.
Thanks, gentlemen. Time for our weekly youth soccer spotlight. We go to California. The Orange Junior Club under 13 boys play in the California Youth Soccer Association South in the spring. They were 10-1-0, and in 2002 they went all the way to Sweden playing a big-time tournament, made it to the quarterfinals. Thanks, guys. Congratulations. Continue your success this year. And when we return, we'll have highlights from last night's action around MLS and get you caught up with the playoff races. Our score at the break: Columbus 1, DC 1.
This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer and ESPN may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the expressed written consent of Major League Soccer and ESPN.
Soccer is creating positive stories throughout America's communities. Healthy lifestyles, positive choices, and teamwork provide joy to athletes of all skill levels. Millions of athletes rely on the support of the U.S. Soccer Foundation to achieve their dreams. The foundation needs your help to fulfill these dreams. Join us in enriching lives through soccer. Log on to ussoccerfoundation.org to learn how you can be a part of the soccer story.
So deep in your eyes.
Can you tell me how to get back to the interstate? 2 stop signs and then make a right at the light. A left at the light? Thank you. I get that a lot.
Introducing the new Pilot from Honda. As big as your imagination.
Hello.
Hey, it's Susie. I'm in the neighborhood. I thought I'd stop by.
I don't know if that's a good idea. My place is kind of,
I've got some Bud Light.
Come on up.
Nice place.
Thanks. I'll put this in the fridge. Make yourself at home.
Okay.
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
A bowling ball.
Make it a Bud Light.
Hello?
Hey, honey. Now, don't forget to pick up the dog.
Me? Forget?
Now there's a phone you can use as a wireless or as a walkie-talkie.
Hey, Gina, when do we record? Oh, thanks.
Now at Radio Shack, get a Verizon Wireless Motorola V60P, a push-to-talk wireless phone for just $149.99.
Hey, Vanessa.
Rick, you didn't remember.
Delivery, Miss Williams.
That's,
Oh.
Radio Shack.
Come on now. Here you go.
Hey, get over here. Hustle. Hustle. Hey, come on, dog. Hustle.
Yeah, you want to do that? Come on now. Come to Uncle Paul.
Basketball's back, and not a moment too soon. The NBA on ESPN returns October 29th.
And we are at halftime between the Columbus Crew and DC United. Both these teams looking for that final playoff spot in the East. 4 games in the league last night. Big one in the East, starting with New England on the road, taking on the Metro Stars. 17th minute, New England needing a win, and they would tie the Metro Stars on points. Dario Fabro gets the netter, and then the rookie Pat Noonan in the 35th minute continues his success, his 7th goal of the year. New England wins it 2-1. Those two meet again Saturday at Foxborough. Revs need only a tie to finish second in the East. As you see, New England and the Metro Stars now tied 42 points. New England owns the tiebreaker. DC gets 2 wins in a row, and New England Metro Stars tie. DC could end up in second place. Other scores from around the league: Alejandro Moreno with 2 goals for LA, Chris Armas 2 goals for Chicago, and Kansas City, with their victory, they move into second place in the West. Speaking of the West, here's how the Western Conference semifinal playoff structure looks. It will definitely be San Jose, LA. Game 1 at the Home Depot Center, November 1st. Kansas City, Colorado, those two teams still jockeying for position, but they will face one another in the conference semifinals. And it all leads to MLS Cup, November 23rd. You can see it live on ABC Sports from the Home Depot Center in Carson, California. For more information, log on to MLSnet.com. And we'll be back with the second half between Columbus and DC United as Radio Shack presents the Major League Soccer Game of the Week.
Peak performance. Is it the result of will, ability, or the right equipment? ACE, #1. Exceptional strength, durability, and design. ACE it. Peak performance. Is it the result of will, ability, or the right equipment? ACE, #1. Exceptional strength, durability, and design. ACE it.
Welcome back to NFL football on parade.
Boomer, we've seen a lot of great moments in this parade, but how about that entrance by Barry Sanders?
Amazing. Let's take another look. Barry Sanders around the corner. Check out the move he puts on that puppy. Then a patented 360. He cuts back inside the last dog, uses that great explosive speed. He's gone.
Another great highlight of Barry Sanders.
NFL Prime Time, presented by Miller Lite, Sundays at 7:30 on ESPN.
Warner Digital Cable gives you the power to control movies.
It was an accident. We had an accident.
10 strangers are about to discover they're not really strangers at all.
This doesn't make any sense.
We need to leave.
Unlock the secret now.
Oh my God.
Digital Cable puts fear at your fingertips. Order Identity for only $3.95 and control it for up to 24 hours. Eye control from Time Warner Digital Cable.
Welcome to First Choice Haircutters,
Where hair meets care.
and where caring stylists create the perfect look for you.
The secret to our success, our #1 concern is you.
Cuts, styles, perms, colors, kids cuts. The whole family will leave looking great
The look you want.
at the price you want to pay.
No appointment convenience.
Quality and value.
See you soon.
Where hair meets care.
ESPN2's presentation of Major League Soccer is brought to you by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. NikeSoccer.com. And ACE, the official sports medicine product of Major League Soccer. And welcome back to the Major League Soccer Game of the Week. Columbus and DC fighting for that final playoff spot in the entire league. They're tied at 1 at the break. Both these teams have so much to play for. Which side has shown maybe more urgency in the first 45?
Well, Columbus definitely took the upper hand early on, put a lot of pressure, in fact, on the DC United goal, and starting off with this long-range shot. Edson Butler gets all of this ball, but Doug Warren tips it, and it goes crashing off the bar. Nice little ball by Martino into West, but Warren's off of his line. But right after that, a mental error, a breakdown of communication by Doug Warren. The goalkeeper does not give the proper instructions to Mike Petke, and Brian West comes up with that goal. Then Stoichkov here gets tugged on a little bit, makes a meal out of it, setting up this penalty kick, where he sends John Bush the wrong way to tie the score 1-1.
Take a look at your Bud game summary right now. Brian West, his 4th goal of the year. Christo Stoichkov, his 4th goal of the year. Fouls, 21 total. 4 yellow cards in the first half. Eric Denton Brian Mazanoff and Mark Williams for the Crew, and that man, Hristo Stoichkov, for DC United. Again, you can't stress this enough. The Crew must win today, or their hopes for the playoffs are shot. DC United needs only a tie, but they certainly won't turn down a win.
Well, they
still have a realistic chance to even move up to second in the East.
The East is still up for grabs to some degree there.
Columbus in the gold, DC in the all-black. We'd like to thank Pepsi and all of our Major League Soccer sponsors for allowing us to bring you tonight's game without commercial interruptions. No subs from either side as we start the second half.
Stoichkov up well there. What a header.
Long outlet by Williams. Kovalenko off Martino.
The game could hinge on that matchup. If Martino gets some space to slip those little through balls in, he can create goals for the Columbus Crew, but Kovalenko can try to physically limit that.
DC knows how to shut them down in the second half. There's Stoichkov. Kovalenko comes in. Staying with it. Square ball. A little behind Ivanov. It slows down this attack. Petke switches it. Finds Stoichkov. He's on the Jets. And that one got away from him.
Well, despite the lack of youth in Stoichkov's legs, he showed a good bit of acceleration there and confidence. Low past the right side of Columbus's back line.
"15 days ago, these two teams met up, tied 1-1 at Columbus. And that is where we are right now as well. Stoichkov finds Martins, a little too tall for him.
Convey was coming forward looking to be a part of that attack, which we didn't see that much of in the first half for DC.
He was very active the later stages of that first half, but maybe more active on the excitement level. I remember several times I saw him out of the corner of my eye jumping up, arms raised, give it to me, guys. And he did make a lot of runs, they just weren't really hitting him with it. Again, Convey, the guy that Ray Hudson said, we're counting on to give us that spark today, to give us that energy that Ben Olsen usually does.
Or even Ernie Stewart, who did not suit up today due to what is not considered to be a terribly serious groin injury. They just didn't think it was worth taking the chance, with DC's chances so good of going into the playoffs.
Cerritos the foul. Quick restart. Martino beyond midfield. Buttle looking for Pauly. A little too soft on that pass as Prideaux goes down low and hard. There's Kovalenko. Like both teams really just giving up the middle of that field. Kovalenko ball to Stoichkov. Much better service on this one. Martins cannot connect.
Well, Stoichkov more active down this left side than he was in almost the entire first half. On that far side, near side here, Kovalenko plays a nice ball between two defenders to get in behind the Columbus defense. The first time cross on the run by Stoichkov, and I guess Martin's trying to get the right foot on it.
Hey, guys, now look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in the box. Stoichkov isn't crossing the ball. He's not in the box. If you're going to play forward, you got to be in the box. We're seeing him get forward a little bit. Now, if he's crossing the ball, that's one thing. But he's got to start acting like a forward if they're going to get any success today.
That was a play from the first half.
Eric, I think he has in the second half.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah,
the first half, that was the problem. We
Right.
see him getting behind now. And, you know, there's a quality cross. You got to see more out of him. And that's going to be a problem. What happens too many times is everybody starts out behind him, end up in front of him. He makes a pass or loses it, and everybody's back behind him again.
No,
and he never moves.
Yeah, well, they have to chase back in behind him because he won't go back and defend.
It's just a lot to ask from your teammates.
There's Quintanilla.
Well, Stoichkov is a former World Player of the Year, so maybe he thinks he can ask.
Looking for the switch. Well played by Allen. Here's Pauly looking for Buttle. He's done a pretty good job keeping the wraps on Edson Buttle thus far. And again, Columbus playing without, at least for now, Brian McBride. Scratch, viral infection. He's been starting all week, but he is off the bench and warming up with the rest of the Columbus team.
Frankie Haydock also missing this game for the Columbus Crew due to yellow card points.
Here's West with the burst of speed. Slowed down by Petke. Finds Martino. Long-range effort, not dangerous at all. Next Sunday, the regular season comes to a close in Columbus. Kyle Martino and Brian McBride and company hosting the best team in the East, the Chicago Fire. Ante Razov, you might as well just say it right now, your Rookie of the Year, Damani Ralph. All in action next Sunday, 4 Eastern on ESPN2.
Rob, did you just admit that I was right about something?
Did I do that?
Damani Ralph?
We're going to have to check the tape, because that might have been a typo on my part. Why, was I fighting you on Damani Ralph being Rookie of the Year? Or am I just admitting you're right? You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. That's probably the biggest no-brainer in the league right now.
Well, it wasn't 20 weeks ago.
Well,
Yeah.
very early on, Martino was one of the favorites.
Well, he was Rookie of the Year last year. So,
yeah.
Here's Kovalenko. Stoichkov.
There's that run. See, that's what he's got to do. He still can do it. He can't do it as many times as he used to, but that's the kind of run that makes a difference when you're dealing with Hristo Stoichkov.
Dunking out in there to slide it out of danger.
Well, Stoichkov's impressive. And again, it's Kovalenko finding him and putting a ball nearly through, all the way through the Columbus defense for Stoichkov to run onto. But Stoichkov showing a good burst of speed, like he really wants to get on the end of these passes from Kovalenko.
And almost some communication breakdown there as well, as both defender and goalie came out and went low. Stoichkov, the only man standing, and he now serves the corner. Well taken, looking for Nelson, who got an arm on Clark.
Well, you like to see Hristo force the issue a little bit. I mean, he really didn't do much in the first half. He sat back, made some passes, let everybody else do the running. But when he does do that, you know, all the way back to Barcelona, that was what made him such a great player. Those slanted runs just in behind the defense, forcing teams to deal with him. I love to see him do that.
Well, they had to deal with Romario on top of him, which made things exceedingly difficult.
Which didn't hurt, yeah. But Romario got a lot of tap-ins.
We talked about Ryan Nelson being busy in Iran last week, so was Duncan out. He just played that ball to Cunningham. Cunningham swerving and serving. Ivanov settles, and what a horrible clearance. I mean, hideous.
Yeah, Purdue ended up saving Ivanov.
There's Kovalenko fighting to win it back for the black and red. Shrugs off a couple, gets tripped up, and it'll be a throw-in for DC. No foul on this one.
Eric, going back to Stoichkov's role and whether he expects his teammates to do his work for him. Eric, you and I at practice talked about the same thing, and you said when you were a forward, all you were expected to do is score the goals, and everybody else had to do all the defensive work for you, and that's the way it should be.
Well, not all of it. I mean, that's not what I meant, but what I
that's
do
what it
think...
sounded like.
He treats his TV business the same way.
No, but I mean, there is a role, and it's being a forward is one thing. If you want to call it lazy or whatever you want to call it, be lazy in front of the damn net. Don't do it back in the middle of the field.
There's Ronald Cerritos.
Yeah, what you're saying when he drops back in the midfield, he gives the team a false sense of security because he's not going to defend.
Quintanilla, cutback on his right, now his left. To Convey. One-time effort, Martins. Falls. Cerritos, dangerous in the box. Chipping for Convey. Headed out. Cerritos is a forward. Surprised he's trying to be so gracious as a midfielder and serve some balls up. He knows how to finish.
Well, he also knows how important a good serve or a good setup is.
Out. Oh, pops it over Stoichkov. Chips one in. Cunningham settles. Petke all over him, and he's whistled. Out very actively. Gives it off to Pauly. Who's doubled. Spins away. Lays it back. Edson Buttle and Quintanilla race. Down goes Quintanilla. Buttle saves it to West. Low ball right at the near post. Warren has it. Quick outlet to Convey.
Actually, somewhat wisely on the part of Columbus. They're playing it a little bit conservative so far in the first half. They don't want to give anything up. They want to keep their chances alive of actually pulling off the victory. You don't have to win it in the next 5 minutes.
Here's Stoichkov. Looking for Martins again. He'll go all the way to the back and find Quintanilla. He'll send it right back in, bending, curling. Convey keeps it alive. Hawley clears it out. Here's Brandon Prideaux.
Columbus laying back 8 field players behind the ball.
Ton of time for Stoichkov, and he slips on that service. Intercepted. Mazonoff finds Martino, lays it off. Buttle, one-time ball, finds Cunningham. Stoichkov on his back. Cuts. Cunningham. Save. Warren didn't get much on that one.
Again, I just can't figure out what position Stoichkov's playing. This is just...
He's playing fullback right now. Look at him.
He's left back.
How about that ball? Straight across his own back line. That's supreme confidence. That ball's cut out. It's 2-1 Columbus.
Buttle, if he was a little more on his game there, could have pounced on that one. ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. They provide analysis, interviews, highlights. You got it all, and it all gets you fired up for the Monday Nighter. Starts at 7:30, and then we flick it on over to ABC Sports. Monday Night Football, the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Raiders. 9 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Martin's header laid off for Convey. Keeps it alive. Spinning, cutting, sandwich, taken down by Mazonoff, who is playing with the yellows.
Yeah, the stiff arm coming out from Mazonoff to stop the momentum of that counterattack by DC. DC had some good numbers going forward.
A lot of fouls in this game. A lot of fouls. A lot of those kind of fouls as well.
Quintanilla eluding, then closed down. Kovalenko just signed a contract extension this week. Chips to Quintanilla. DC content to possess right now. Again, all they need is a tie. This one floated in. Eric, you said a lot of fouls today. 26 total. 17 on DC, 9 on Columbus.
You get over 30 in a game. That's usually a pretty big number.
Here's Buttle. Air has been taken out of this game. Nice step up by Martins. Bush is there.
Square ball across the back by Williams. Put Clark in trouble. Martins is a hustling forward. It sounds like an oxymoron, right,
Yeah.
Eric? But, and he's Brazilian on top of it.
Exactly.
Would you cut it with the lazy forward stuff?
Now, I'll tell you, Martins comes out and battles for a lot of balls, keeps the backs honest.
Well, he's an opportunist, that's for sure. You have to be.
Good word, yeah.
Hard foul. Denton takes down Quintanilla. Denton playing with the yellow.
Yeah, one of two things is going to happen. I mean,
Someone's going to get a red?
No, I mean, there's going to be a lot of these kind of fouls out of frustration on Columbus's end because they're really, you know, their desperation is going to creep in any minute now. They realize they're getting down to the end here, and it's their whole season.
At what minute, guys, do they hit that proverbial panic button and throw in a sick Brian McBride to try and get that game-winning goal? We're in the 59th right now. Do you wait till the 70th, 75th?
Question for the coach, so we'll see.
Well, I'm asking you guys. When would you put him in?
Well, I wouldn't panic at all.
Well, you could still even win this in overtime, couldn't you?
Exactly.
There's Denton.
No, in fact, it's turned into a bit of a chess match. I think Columbus was a little bit put off by those 2 times Kovalenko was able to almost push Stoichkov through, and since then they've laid back a little bit more.
Here's Cunningham. Sliding. West looking for his second. Got a toe on it, but Doug Warren is there.
Nice run by Brian West. I'll tell you what, it's a real courage, too, to get a toe to that ball, despite the fact that Doug Warren is charging off of his line. Cunningham Gets a chance to slip one through. Nice little turn by West. He gets his left foot to it. Again, Warren's best quality that we've seen in his whole MLS career is how quickly he gets off of his line to close the angle.
Doug Warren, 6 foot and about a meal shy of 200 pounds. Chance again there for Martins, and we were talking about, is Columbus going to make those moves? Hit that panic button. I see Brian McBride and Alex Pineda-Chacon up with the warm-ups off and at the bench. Expect some Columbus subs soon. Trudeau, long clearance, goes the distance to Bush.
Well, some of it just comes right down to Brian McBride personally. Does he feel like he's got enough in him to be able to contribute, despite the fact that he's been fighting the virus?
And there they are. Chacon, a former league MVP and scoring leader, who has really bottomed out point-wise the last 2 seasons.
Falling on some pretty bad times.
Brian McBride has just handed his substitution card. He will be coming on. Stoichkov, massive switch.
That's at 65. That's almost a 70-yard ball from Stoichkov.
Cerritos. Here's West. Lays it off to Martino. Poor ball. Gives DC the throw-in. And provides Columbus the opportunity for a substitution. And they are going for broke right now in the 62nd minute as they are pulling out a defender, Mark Williams, and bringing on Brian McBride.
What a promising season it was for Columbus very early on, as McBride had come back from England with a huge boost of confidence, scoring goals there for Everton. But for sure now, I mean, Williams hasn't interjected that much into this game anyway, and McBride, for the hope of the Columbus crew to even keep alive their playoff hopes.
Is it too early to pull off a defender and go all offense right now?
No, because you can also make adjustments in midfield. And at the moment, you watch DC United, because Stoichkov has dropped back into midfield, DC's almost playing with only one forward in Martins.
Cunningham spins by Petke. McBride making a charging run. Cunningham trying to get it to him, too strong.
Cunningham was down briefly at the end of that play, but he seems to have shaken it off.
Long ball finds Stoichkov. Denton pokes it out for a corner kick for DC. This will be their 4th of the game.
Columbus started off so well. In fact, they were picked by many people to win the Eastern Conference in the preseason.
Included.
Yeah. DC United struggled out of the gate and have since turned their season around.
DC only 2 losses in their last 7 games. Again, the magic number for Columbus, or for DC rather, 1 point. Stoichkov for the corner. Low ball, bouncing, cleared by Maisonov. Finds Quintanilla. Lefty service. Spinning away from everybody. Nelson has to track back to keep it alive. Kovalenko. By Martino. Kovalenko on his right. Kovalenko fires.
Well, there's some of that spark that you sometimes always expected from a Ben Olsen and Ernie Stewart, and Kovalenko provided for the Chicago Fire for several seasons. And Ray Hudson. Looking for that one result that will put DC into the playoffs for the first time.
Martino to stop it and play the free kick to Denton. Brian West sends it in, a lofting ball. McBride is there right at Warren. That's why Brian McBride is in there. That's what he brings to this crew team.
It gives you that one big target in the box, no question.
We go downstairs. Eric Winalda standing by with Ray Hudson in our Radio Shack Coaches Corner. Gentlemen.
All right, Ray, listen, they've made a couple changes. Obviously, they've got some, I'm not saying they're desperate, but they put some forward strength out there. So you're talking to John Trask, your assistant coach. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about bringing maybe Cristo, giving him 5 more minutes. Eric, you know, we haven't played well. It was the worst first 25 minutes was the worst we've ever played, I think. and gifted a goal. But we fought our way back. We're looking a little bit more settled and dangerous, but I think we need a little bit more fresh legs in the middle. So we'll either move Bobby Convey back in the middle or little Chino Alegria to sit inside with Kovalenko.
All right, well, good luck.
Thanks a lot, Eric.
Well, DC do need to adjust to the presence of Brian McBride, and they're going to try to, it sounds like, going to try to bolster up their midfield with Alegria.
Clark steps up to end that attack. Here's Pauly. Try to scream that one into Buttle, and it's intercepted. Giveaway by Kovalenko. Balls to Nelson. This is Radio Shack presenting your MLS Game of the Week. We're in your nation's capital, the Columbus Crew, taking on DC United. Alongside Ty Keogh and Eric Ronaldo on the field, I'm Rob Stone. Glad you're with us this afternoon. Columbus in the gold, DC in the black. These two teams fighting for the final playoff spot in the league. It all leads up to MLS Cup 2003, November 23rd, live on ABC Sports from the Home Depot Center in L.A.
Kovalenko was called there for the dangerous play, the high boot.
Buttle turning, firing right at Warren.
So Columbus in a 3-forward setup. Buttle, McBride, and Cunningham. Pauly coming up the right side, and right now Brian West is their wide player on the left. So 5 pretty attacking-minded players out there.
We mentioned in the first half, Cunningham, Buttle, McBride have only been on the field together for 1 hour coming into today. Now they're getting a few more minutes as a combination. Strong overlapping run by Outen, clears space. Pauly sends it in again, looking for McBride, but Petke wins it.
That's the right matchup for DC. They want to try to minimize McBride's effect on high balls in the box. As Petke's the man, one of the strongest players in the air in the league.
Mazanoff sends that one in. Buttle trying to muscle Nelson out of the way. Cerritos, a clumsy clearance. Goes right back to the Crew. 30 fouls in this one now. 20 on DC, just 10 to the Crew.
Well, I spoke to Greg Andrulis, the Columbus coach, before the game, and he said they all understood that it didn't necessarily have to be a pretty game, but they had to get the result one way or another. And actually, they've been out-fouled 20-10 by DC, so go figure.
Petke. Step up by Denton. Here's McBride. Cunningham, overlapping run, looking for West. Ivanov lays it off to Nelson. Turnover. Martino to Cunningham. McBride. Cerritos. Outlets. Quintanilla. By his man. Finds Martins. Lays it off. Here's Cerritos. To Stoichkov. This may be Christo's final surge of this game. He likes it on his left. Lays it off to Kovalenko in the box. The chip. Far post. Here's Convey. Cut back to Cerritos. Square ball. Stoichkov the cannon and
worth a try.
Yeah. That is your final touch, Mr. Stoichkov. Well, no. Quick restart by the Crew as they take this goal kick and whip down the left side, and the ref saying, boys, come back. We got to make a sub.
Well, DC United applying some concerted pressure here as they kept possession for 5-6 passes. Eventually worked the ball around. Very unselfish against Cerritos, laying the ball to Stoichkov's left foot. He just missed cues on it.
Brian,
that's a golden left foot, but not on that one. Perhaps fatigue setting in.
Brian Namath comes on, a hustling midfielder. I'm pretty sure the words dirty work were used when he was told to go in.
Well, not a bad game from Risto. Not entirely a bad game. I mean, they, like Ray said, they'd had a bad half. They had about a bad 25 minutes, but once he started making those kind of runs and putting Columbus on their heels, he looked better.
Yeah, Stoichkov was very effective in the first 15 minutes of this second half.
Convey to Cerritos. Quintanilla pops up on him. He loses it. Win is a tie as good as a win today for DC United. All they need is a tie to earn that 1 point and clinch the final playoff spot in the league. Brian McBride taken down on a soft collision there, and it'll be a goal kick for DC. So the Crew, they need a lot of points. They need 3 today. They could have used more throughout the season. And
well, it's almost, it's very difficult to explain with the load of talent that Columbus possesses on their roster that they have struggled so much this season.
Convey, Cerritos. Read well by Denton. Step up by Namath. Nelson keeps it in the zone for DC. Namath there again. Flicks on to Convey, who's onside. Convey! I think he was looking far post on that one, and it popped on him a little bit.
He likes the left foot, but he didn't do much with that one. Namath right away makes an impact, winning this header. It pops in behind Duncan out, and Convey just off balance as he goes to hit it. He needs to make more of those since he is a left-sided player.
Bride wins that. Flick on to Buttle. Pauly overlaps and takes over possession. Mazonoff. Buttle.
Well, this is it's a Columbus team that last year unseated the defending champion San Jose in the playoffs and then also went on to win the U.S. Open Cup.
4v4. Here's Quintanilla. Quintanilla broken up by Denton. Martin. Martin's still alive. And whistled for a foul, and I think we're going to see another card. We are. 72nd minute, our 5th card of the game, second on DC.
Martin's here pushing on Mike Clark and then sliding in late on Eric Denton for the challenge from behind. The yellow card to Thiago Martins.
Kid works his tail off.
There's a kid who's proved himself, named MVP of the A-League, also their top scorer with the
51 points this
Pittsburgh
year.
Riverhounds, yeah.
22 goals, 7 assists. McBride spinning to find Martino. Square ball, Cunningham. Lays it right off the DC. They haven't been able to find Cunningham to use his speed. A lot of times he's had to stop, settle, and kind of be a postman, and that is not his game.
Well, in the first half, there were times when he was one-on-one, but we've rarely seen that in the second half. Cunningham not able to play to his strengths.
West, also a burner for the Crew. McBride lays it off. Cunningham had a chance to shoot, dribbling and losing. Kovalenko goes low to win the tackle, and he earns a card for that.
Well, he did come in studs up, but he won the ball. So the referee can judge that it's reckless or dangerous, even if, as we see, Kovalenko wins the ball. He slides through the ball. In fact, he didn't really even show that much of the studs.
That might be a reputation card right there.
Good point.
6th yellow of the game.
That was a good tackle. Nothing wrong with that. There was no malicious intent. He's trying to block it. I mean, he got a bad rep at the beginning of the year for breaking O'Brien's leg.
He tackles hard. Yeah, he tackles hard.
He plays the game. He plays the game hard. You know, I mean, you're gonna have situations like that, especially in games like that, where you got to play the game hard.
A good look of disbelief too, Kovalenko. Method acting.
But you nailed it. That was a reputation card.
2nd DC yellow card in a minute, and now a free kick for Columbus. Pauly and Martino. Martino walks away. Ross Pauly drives it, and that's a wasted chance.
The Columbus Crew, Lamar Hunt, U.S. Open Cup champions in 2002. Also eliminated San Jose, the then defending champion, MLS Cup champion, San Jose Earthquakes, and now are desperate and need not only to win both of their games, but need DC to stumble at some point.
Now Columbus has made their final field player substitution. Rookie Diego Walsh comes on for Brian Mazonoff. It's going to be an interesting 16 minutes.
Walsh is a creative dribbler and playmaker. May be able to make something happen.
Cerritos. Kovalenko. Fouled by Walsh.
This is going to be a very choppy 15 minutes, I'll tell you that. Very choppy. There's going to be a lot of this, a lot of fouls.
Well, you said it before, Eric. Columbus playing for their season.
You just can't allow anything to happen, and they got to hope for the best going the other way.
The score line stayed this way, DC would be in the playoffs.
And I got a feeling I know what play is going to drive them nuts. Come tomorrow if it stays this way.
Ivanov and Convi over this one. Ivanov, one-time strike, and that was dipping hard. Nice save, Bush.
Well, I think Eric has alluded to Stoichkov's dive that drew the penalty kick that tied this game.
Well, if you're in the Crew's corner, that's it. That's a pretty good save.
Fifth corner of the game for DC. There's Bush. Knuckles it out. Ivanov to Convi. Sends it right back in, right to Columbus. Foul there on Buttle. Easy one to call.
But they're just going to keep doing that. They're going to just make sure that there is no flow to this game.
Yeah.
And if there is any kind of flow, they'll dictate it.
Yeah, I misspoke. I thought Chacon had already come in, so he is now coming in, and this will be Columbus's final field player sub. And you take out the man in the middle, Kyle Martino, who creates so much for this team.
Well, Pineda Chacon has created in this league as well. He's a crafty player, good vision, and slick around the goal. He just hasn't produced much at all the last two seasons.
Well, basically what's just happened is, you don't need Martino on the field anymore if you're just going to be pumping balls from the flanks. You just skip them anyway. So get somebody else out there might finish it.
Kovalenko's effort was wide.
Get that one on the nose.
Saw Chacon's numbers. What a nosedive. In his MVP year, you see the numbers in 2001, 19 goals, 9 assists. Since then, 2 goals, 1 assist. Yikes. Started the year with Los Angeles and was shipped mid-season to the Crew.
McBride won a header there, but Columbus not good enough to win the knockdown.
'78th minute, 1-1 game. Columbus has to win. Has to win. Nice flick to find McBride. Drills it off Trudeau, and this is not going to be strong enough to run for a corner. Kovalenko, square ball. Nelson. Trudeau gives it up, throwing.
Especially as we get into this final stage of this match, what's going to be critical for DC is that second ball. McBride's going to win his share of headers. It's whether DC can stay organized enough and keep track of Cunningham and Buttle and even Brian West floating through there.
It's hard for McBride to win those headers. He's the guy out wide, serving them.
Or throwing them in.
Or throwing them in, exactly.
Yeah, he's moved back in there now, though.
There's Pauly. Take the throw in.
Who wins these knockdowns?
Again, McBride wide out. There's out. Sends it in. Falls to Chacon. A little hesitation. Can't get one off. Buttle. Stripped. Here's Quintanilla. Martin's lurking all the way up there.
Fun player to watch, Quintanilla. He's very confident with that left foot.
Step up by Mike Clark, and he continues his run. And Namath trip each other up.
Well,
That'll be a corner.
Namath doing precisely what he was brought on the field to do, and that is those legs to cover some ground and make up for some of the fatigue that might be setting in on some of his teammates' legs.
Fourth corner of the game for the Crew.
I thought Namath may have been fouled there on that play, but no call.
Ross Pauly to take it. Big chance here for Columbus. Floating. Easily cleared out by Ryan Nelson. That one was not a threat at all. Martins is slow to get up. He took a whack on that one, playing defense in the box.
Cerritos.
That'll be another corner kick now for the Crew as Cerritos splits it out.
Well,
Martins down on the field.
Cerritos, I think, could have let that one go out, but I guess he just didn't want to take any chances with Brian McBride in the vicinity.
Thiago Martins, like he's cramping up. We want to remind you, coming up this Wednesday evening from Kansas City, the U.S. women's national team off their third place run at the Women's World Cup takes on Italy live on ESPN2, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Corner kick by Pauly. Buttle is there! So is Warren.
Warren got down quickly, and Buttle did head it down, which is always more difficult for the goalkeeper to deal with.
Great clean strike by Edson Buttle. But the rookie up to it. Those are hard balls, Ty, to keep low, aren't
Well, I'll tell you what, Doug Warren, he made a terrible mistake on the one Columbus goal. However, in the meantime, and even before that, he's made some outstanding stops.
Denton chipping, too strong for Cunningham. 81st minute, still tied at 1.
DC just blasts it out. They know this result gets them to the promised land. DC champions of MLS. 96, 97, and 99. MLS Cup champions. Nobody really picks them to go to MLS Cup necessarily this time around, but it's, for them, a welcome return. If they could make this result stand up, a welcome return to playoff action.
DC gets a tie. They will qualify for the playoffs, but it will take them out of the running for second place in the East. So a tie today will guarantee them either third or fourth place in the East. And DC set to make a substitution. There'll be another forward coming on. It'll be Martins coming off and the rookie Eskandarian coming on. Here's Ronald Cerritos, naked, down the left side. Martins driving to the near post. Who's far post? How about Prideaux? Here's Kovalenko. Kovalenko! Here's your DC sub. Boy, plus minus is a big thing that they track in hockey. It's also important in soccer as well. You look at the Columbus Crew goal differential this season. Through the 80th minute, they're +3, but after that, it gets ugly. -8. They only allowed 9 first-half goals, but 3 in overtime. They do not finish strong. And we are in a finishing situation right now for the Crew. 83rd minute, they need a goal.
Well, that's mental focus and or lack of fitness, giving up that many late goals. Boy, Cerritos has worked tirelessly, really doubling up as a midfielder and a forward throughout this game.
Here's a break for the Crew. Brian West floats it in, crashing bravely with Ross Pauly, and he is still down.
He got blasted.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it's a sandwich here. West sends it in, a good bending ball. Pauly crashes into Prideaux, and then Ryan Nelson after getting his head on the ball.
And now he has to get up and take a corner kick, the 6th of the game for the Crew. Buttle got to the last one. Loose ball, Buttle again! Whistle, foul on the field. That'll be coming out, foul on the Crew. Ray Hudson set to make another substitution. Here's the scrum that we just saw.
Petke right in the middle of this. The foul was on the goalkeeper, I think. As it looked like McBride may have fallen on top of Doug Warren.
And I'll tell you, I don't know what happened in there. Only he saw something, though.
Yeah, McBride kind of fell into Doug Warren. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but that's the only thing I saw that would even remotely look like a foul.
Cunningham can't get by Prideaux, who has underrated speed, but Prideaux on a sliding tackle handled it.
It's going to come down to this play right here.
On that last play, McBride also, where he fell, was in an offside position, so it could have been the referee. The flag did not go up. It could have been the referee because he was so close to it.
He was so close. This is a big,
he made a call offside, yeah.
final field player sub for DC United. Quintanilla comes off and Chino Alegria comes on. Hey, look at Chino. I still think he needs to lose some pounds.
It's all about the service here.
Ross Pauly will be providing that service. Far post. Wide open, off the post!
Oh.
Jeff Cunningham drills a header off the woodwork. Chacon, poor service. Oh my, he had Warren beat.
That headbutt was hammered. Down low, impossible for any goalkeeper to save. The post saved Warren.
Here's Brian Neymoff, second half substitution. Lays it off to Convey. Cerritos. 86th minute, DC is going to start milking this one. Columbus is going to have to start double teaming to try and win possession back. And that may leave them susceptible in the back.
There's double work there. Yeah.
Cunningham, Buttle. Cunningham, does he have enough in his tank? Doug Warren is off and keeps it in.
Well, Buttle's pass lacking just a little bit of quality. A little bit too far out in front of Cunningham. And again, Warren's been huge, scrambling off of his line to make those plays.
This kid's good. He's a good goalkeeper. He really is.
A lot of courage there to go down at the
lot there. I think his personality, has to get a little bit more vocal. You look at that first goal, but everything else, it's all there. Very good goalkeeper.
Plus, he's got the post on his side.
Cunningham keeping it alive. Looking to go down, and he does, but we play on. Chacon, wide open, McBride. Shipping, looking for West. He's there, and it's drilled, and we have a PK, I believe. We do.
Yes, he points to the spot.
Brian West got hammered by Doug Warren. He beat Warren to the ball, toe-poked it, and now our second penalty kick of the game. It was a questionable PK call that went DC's way early in the first. And here, now one for the Crew. And boy, could they use it.
Yeah, some people will say makeup because Warren definitely misses the ball because he's beaten to the ball by West. And then his momentum does take out Brian West. So many referees don't call this because the ball was going out of play anyway.
Yeah, West was not going to get that.
No Columbus player was going to get to that ball anyway. However, Warren did not get to the ball. Warren did make contact and take out Brian West. And technically it's the correct call, but you rarely see it.
All right, now guys, who takes this penalty kick for Columbus?
Pressure City, huh?
Who do you want? Eric? Who do you give it to?
Guys, you know what? This is a tough one because this is like, whoever takes this penalty kick,
the whole season's riding on it.
The whole season's riding on it, exactly. And, for whatever it's worth, I would say usually the guy that gets fouled, he shouldn't take it. And that theory was proved right because Stoichkov was not fouled. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter. He's got to be the most confident guy. Right now, they're still going to the linesman trying to get his opinion into this.
Well, the only opinion he might be able to add there is that the ball was already out of play when the contact was made, which it was not, according to our replay. The ball was still in play.
One more look at the collision. Brian West beating Doug Warren to the ball. Now, it's an obvious foul, but in the books, could West have gotten to that ball? It's like a pass interference play as well. The referee, Abby Okalaja, looks like he's sticking to his guns. Yeah. He just talked it over with Thomas Supple, a senior linesman. West steps off, and it looks like it's going to be Brian McBride taking the penalty kick. Columbus, again, they have to get a win today and then have some things fall their way to stay alive. A tie today does them no good. This penalty kick is monstrous, and Brian McBride is just sitting there being iced.
And McBride has been under the weather all week.
Now, this is their whole season, but you know what? Brian stepped up there because he's a leader. He wants it. Now, you know what? You got to let him have it.
McBride came on in the 62nd minute for the lead. Got it! Brian McBride, big-time finish. In the 9th 90th minute, Brian McBride buries the PK.
McBride rises to the occasion. It was Brian West, though, beating Warren to the ball that drew the foul to set up the penalty kick. And McBride, a little bit of deception, didn't have to put that much on it, and placed it pretty well. Warren goes left, McBride goes right.
McBride, his team best 9th penalty kick of the year. And now some pushing and shoving on the field as Kovalenko and Buttle and Cunningham and everybody get into the mix.
Yeah, they've had it. There's a lot of emotions coming out in the last minute here, for sure.
Still going at it. 90th minute, Brian McBride, a massive strike from your leader, giving the Crew a lead they had to have. Their first lead of the game. Scratch that. Brian West actually scored the first goal in the 26th minute, but DC tied it in the 37th. DC, now they need the goal. For a tie will push them into the postseason. Out of bounds. We're going to have to see how much stoppage time. Scratch that. We know now. 6 minutes of stoppage time. DC floats it in. Ivanov is there. Boom! Big save! Off the post or the side netting on the follow by Kovalenko. Maybe it went off his own man, actually. Oh my, is it fun in DC?
John Bush is barely getting his fingertips. This ball, good bend towards the back post. Headed down, just tipped here. Now here's, didn't hit the post.
Hit his man, Cerritos.
Cerritos hits him in the backside. Cerritos scrambling back.
Not sure that would have gone in. Hard to tell from that
I think
angle.
Would have hit the post and gone out or hit the side netting.
This game is far from over.
Oh, 6 minutes of stoppage time. We're only a $1:23 into it. Can Columbus hold on? Foul away from the ball. Now, should this hold up, this makes Sunday's game very interesting. Our game of the week, Chicago at Columbus. What has to happen now is DC must lose Saturday night at home to Kansas City. If they lose, then Columbus has to win this game at home versus Chicago, the final game of the regular season, and the Crew will improbably qualify for the playoffs. But DC, they only need a tie today or a tie Saturday, and they will be the team.
See, the only thing scary about this game right now,
handball Diego Walsh,
is if you're Greg Andrulis, is if you've managed the game really well, you had to make the changes necessary to get back into this game. But how could you ever even think about the way this game's going to end? You got 6 minutes with a bunch of very offensive people trying to hold down the fort.
Yeah, Brian McBride is playing fullback right now.
McBride will probably stay back there as a center back.
You know, and no offense, but Jeff Cunningham, I don't think he's going to come back no matter what the score is.
Columbus now, their best bet.
Now they're trying to kill it.
Yeah, if they could spread the ball around and keep some possession. West still has the legs for it.
And McBride had made a strong run far post, but West is going to try and shield and sit on it. Gets bumped off, loses it. Goal kick, DC.
That bruise will hurt tomorrow, but he'll be
fine right now.
Last couple of minutes.
Still 3 minutes to go. 3 more minutes of stoppage time.
Long ball. DC still has plenty of firepower on the field. Ivanov is not the man to do it. They're calling him for a dive. Are they? No, an indirect free kick just outside of the box. And DC scrambles to get it and set up a free kick.
I don't buy that one. That was a weak call.
Well, I'm not even sure if it was a foul. It happened outside of the box.
Not a foul.
No, it wasn't.
There's going to be a lot of those. There's going to be a lot of people running into each other, and that's a discretionary call.
I think the call was that Denton interfered, which I don't think he did. And I thought it was a dive.
Kovalenko, Condi, and Ivanov over this one.
I'll tell you what, Ivanov wants it. He does the last one well. He feels like he might have his stroke down. If this is a chance for him to just duplicate what he did the last time, get it a little lower, it's a goal. It's really that simple. If he can just hit it well, he'll score.
Can Columbus hold on to this must-win lead? DC's taking a lot of time to talk this one over. It's their own time they're burning.
And remember, it is indirect. Cannot go straight in.
Ivanov. Condi runs over. Ivanov drills it right at foot.
Had a little bit of speed on it. Almost fooled Bush.
Well, Ray Hudson, to the antacid counter, please.
I'll tell you what, he could have just let that go. Wouldn't have been a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It was
boy,
an indirect.
no, Edson Buttle.
The play was over the second he decided to shoot.
Buttle took his man.
But somebody ran over it. Did they even touch it?
No.
Convey did not touch it. It was not apparent from up here whether he touched it or not. And the ball must move. It's not good enough just to touch it. It actually has to
Well
move.
won by McBride. Walsh wins it, gets bumped, we play on. Kept alive, DC. Alegria sends it in. Dangerous ball. Petke's there. Petke scores! We're tied! And they only need a tie to go to the playoffs! Heartbreak in Ohio, ecstasy in D.C.
Let the singing begin. What a finish by Mike Petke. He buries this header. DC working the ball out wide. The ball bending all the way to the back post. You know, Petke was close to being offside. You're going to have to look at that one again. But Petke just gets up and powers this ball past John Bush to tie this game. And that's all D.C. United needs to make the playoffs.
But it's not over yet. Remember, 6 minutes of stoppage time. We're past that right now, but some time is going to be added for celebration, but not much. Columbus has to score or their season is done. There could be no playoffs for the Crew, the team many thought would win the Eastern Conference. Walsh sends it in. McBride is there and wins it right at Warren. DC just seconds away from returning to the postseason for the first time since 1999 when they won it all. Greg Andrulis is stunned. And that is it. DC is off to the playoffs. I'm sorry. Now, look, can I be a little more energetic about this one? Good gracious, Rob Stone. There's overtime to be played. We're far from done. Mike Petke, the equalizer, deep in stoppage time to tie it at 2, but we're not done yet. Sudden death overtime is coming up when we return to D.C.
Hello?
Hey, honey. Now, don't forget to pick up the dog.
Me? Forget?
Now there's a phone you can use as a wireless or as a walkie-talkie.
Hey, Gina, when do we record? Now. Oh, thanks.
Now at Radio Shack, get a Verizon Wireless Motorola V60P, a push-to-talk wireless phone for just $149.99.
Hey, Vanessa.
Rick, you didn't remember.
Delivery, Miss Williams?
That's,
Oh.
Radio Shack.
So deep in your eyes.
Tell me how to get back to the interstate. 2 stop signs and then make a right at the light. A left at the light? Thank you. I get that a lot.
This Tuesday, if you've missed a single episode, catch up with the Playmakers Marathon.
They've been rolling along.
What? The Playmakers Marathon, the first 8 episodes. Tuesday at 8 p.m. on ESPN.
Tonight, training to be a cop means being ready for anything. But one case
Want somebody to do this to you?
will catch this rookie off guard.
You want to be a social worker or a police officer?
New 10-8 Officers on Duty, ABC tonight, 8/7 Central.
StudentCity.com, America's largest spring break travel company, is ready to send you away for spring break 2004 to places like Cancun, Acapulco, the Bahamas, Jamaica, Mazatlan, and other top spring break destinations. StudentCity.com will provide you with a fun-filled week of non-stop parties at the hottest clubs. Meet students from around the country and experience the trip of a lifetime.
Best spring break there is.
Want a free trip? Just organize a small group and we'll send you for free. Visit us at StudentCity.com or call us at 1-888-SPRING-BREAK and start planning your trip today.
You're not going to find a lower price. My manager may not accept this deal at another time, so...
I'm a food truck man.
That's all I dream. I ain't got no boundaries. I don't compromise.
And no need to compromise with $10,000 under factory list or 0% for 72 months. And brand new Explorers, $9,000 under factory list. And for $16,900, you get a brand new minivan.
Ain't no doubt my king of the mountains built for tub.
And welcome back to Radio Shack presents MLS Game of the Week. It ain't over till it's over. 2 goals in the 90th minute and plus. Recap me, Ty.
McBride, after this foul by Doug Warren on Brian West in the 90th minute, puts Columbus ahead. But then Chino Alegria finds Mike Petke at the back post. DC ties it, which sends us to overtime. If DC can either win this in the overtime or keep it tied, they make the playoffs.
Take a look at your overtime rules. 2 5-minute periods. Whoever scores first wins the game. And you look at those overtime records. DC has lost 4 games in overtime. Columbus has lost 3. And remember, in the beginning of the season, games went to overtime. It was basically just say, hey, here's your point, here's your point. Everything was ending in a tie. But these 2 teams have shown a propensity to lose and not win in overtime.
Alegria, fresh off the bench, provided that game-tying assist to Petke.
A tie does Columbus 0 good. Foul on Kovalenko. Clark will take it. Now he's overruled by his keeper, John Bush. Ironman Triathlon 25th anniversary show is coming up at the conclusion of this game. Oh, Brian McBride just undercut, and we play on. Slow to get up. Took a hard shot in a soft spot.
Well, he showed a lot of strength, mental strength, converting that penalty kick in the 90th minute with all that pressure, his whole season riding on his team's whole season.
Buttle bullying his way through goes down. Not going to get a call at this stage of the game for a 50-50 foul like that, although we have seen 2 penalty kicks today. Another yellow card, this one on Eskandarian. 7th yellow card of the game.
Called for the deliberate handball. DC, knowing all they need is to keep this game knotted in 2, has dropped nearly their entire team back defensively.
This is the first of 2 5-minute sudden death overtime periods. Emotional couple minutes for both sides. Eskandarian, the first overall draft pick in this year's Super Draft, can't keep it in, loses it, throw in for Columbus. All they need, DC, is either a tie today or Saturday at home versus Kansas City, and they will be in the playoffs. And officially eliminate the Columbus Crew. Another foul here on Eskandarian. He just got a yellow, and he went low on Duncan Allen. And he is going to possibly see a second yellow, and he is gone. So Eskandarian, a late sub, received 2 yellows in less than a minute. Ray Hudson didn't even see it. And DC's now playing a man down. Can we get a little more drama here, please?
Well, Eskandarian, knowing coming off the bench, is expected to hustle, fight, chase, help DC eat up some of the clock. And he just got first the handball, and then he got there late on this challenge. His second yellow as he clipped Duncan out just after the play.
8 yellow cards this game. Christo Stoichkov is doing some chirping. You do not want to be the 4th official right now. Stunning. Well, good news for the Crew. Again, they need a win to stay alive, and they now have a man advantage. Can they capitalize? Sent in. Nobody there but Alegria. Chested back. Warren cannot keep it alive, and they give up a corner kick. Columbus has been dangerous on the corners today. Short kick taken. Ross Pollard back to Cunningham. Bad ball intercepted by Convey. It'll stay with the Crew, though.
I disagree with that completely. They've got to get the ball in the box and try and make something happen. Yeah, especially with McBride in there and especially having an extra player on the field.
Short corner kicks are like the worst thing in soccer ever. Sent in. McBride can't win it. Here's Chacon laying it off. Clark. You don't go to him for too many goals. How about an assist? Call for Pollard. Convey goes down. West showing his speed. Floats another one in. Petke is there. Buttle settles. Lays it off to McBride just out of reach.
And Convey looks hobbled for DC. So they could be two men down. Looks like he's cramping up.
Yeah, they're out of field player substitutions. He's just going to have to dive in front of the ball. There's Convey winning.
That's what he did.
Yeah. He's on one leg right now. Cerrito spins away. Has a man who's in offside position, but this one is very on. Galline even off. Cerritos.
Pretty smart play there. Hold on to the ball, move it around. DC does not need another goal to make the playoffs. At least not as...
They're adding a minute of stoppage time for the first overtime period. Again, they're normally supposed to be 2 5-minute periods, so another 25 seconds left in this first of 2 sudden death periods. Kovalenko goes down. Name-off wins it back. Alegria. Cerritos. Cerritos very calm and composed right now. He knows what to do. Clock is your enemy, not the Crew. And that's it for the first overtime. So the Crew now have 5 minutes to find the back of the net.
And to find that extra man that they do possess. Since the red card to Eskandarian. Actually, the second yellow, which resulted in the red card to Eskandarian. Stoichkov with a penalty kick goal earlier in the match. Yep.
Both teams winless in overtime this year. Both teams with 8 ties for the season. Tie number 9 would be great for DC and horrendous for the Crew.
Columbus has got no choice. They've got to just throw everything forward. Yep. The Barra Brava and the Screaming Eagles on the far side here starting their songs.
Ryan Nelson wins that one. Everybody back for DC United. Surprised Ray Hudson's not in the box playing defense. Chacon sends it in. Dangerous ball. Won by Prideaux.
So what surprises me is how many people aren't in the box for Columbus.
Right.
Now they are, but they need to get there sooner.
Clark.
DC holding their line, though, trying to keep the yellow shirts out of that penalty area.
One-time volley by Buttle. He loses his footing, and Doug Warren will take some time on this goal kick.
You'll watch Mike Petke, Ryan Nelson organizing that back line of DC United, trying to keep it pushed up so that a guy like Brian McBride, Jeff Cunningham, can't just go in there and camp out and look for click-ons or high balls for the box.
Eric, you're down there on the field. Is it almost a defeated look in Columbus' faces right now, or it doesn't seem there's that major urgency in their face?
They put so much into this game, so much into it, and to just take the dagger the way they did and do the Petke goal. Yeah, Petke is the one that put the last dagger in, didn't it?
Floated in. Chance for McBride off of Petke. Corner kick for the Crew.
This is crucial, guys. This is the set piece that could make all the difference. I said it before, it's all about the delivery. These guys are good enough in the air to get on the end of it.
8th quarter of the game for the Crew, none bigger than this one. Pauly gets way under it. Doug Warren nestles in there and pulls it home.
Interesting matchup. Marked on those set pieces by Ivanov. I saw that. Actually, Ivanov wanted him.
3 minutes left. Play on, says the ref. Cunningham in the box. Serving. Warren again is there. He had an early miscue that cost DC a goal, but since then he's been solid. Here's Kovalenko making a run. Taken down by Walsh. That's got to be a card.
It will be.
It's going to be a yellow. Could have gone red, though.
Not where this game's gone. Kovalenko's still moving pretty well. He's just clipped late. Was not from behind. They're screaming because they've seen so many cards come out.
It looked like Stoichkov almost headbutted the fourth official right there as well. On that replay, I'm not sure he knew he was right there, but I mean, that was inches away. And he is still barking at the fourth official, Eric Simmons.
Tough job today, the fourth official. Tough job.
He's gotten an earful for both sides.
We see a man down, needing only a tie, and they're in the postseason. Columbus must score to get the win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Sent in. Ryan Nelson, the captain, wins it. Condon can't settle it, then does, then clears it beyond midfield. Less than a minute and a half.
They'll get one last chance.
If not more than that.
Columbus's season on the line.
Chacon, former league MVP. To McBride. Pauly plays it wide. Mike Clark. Chacon. The bench. Finding McBride. Did he score? He did! Brian McBride! Oh my goodness! Off the bench, a 90th minute PK, and now the game winner in the second overtime. The Crew are alive!
Talk about heroes. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
McBride didn't start the game due to the virus symptoms, but here, Pineda Chacon finds McBride at the back post. He out-jumps Brandon Prideaux, and Warren cannot get to it in time. He gets a hand to it, but it's already in the net as he gets his left fingers to it, and the Columbus Crew, their playoff hopes still alive miraculously due to Brian McBride, our Honda man of the match.
2 goals for McBride, number 9 and 10 on the season. Your big gun keeps you alive. McBride may now have something to play for on Sunday when they host Chicago. Your updated standings. The Crew still in last place, 3 behind DC. Both teams still alive. It's going to be a fun final weekend in MLS. Coming up, the Ironman Triathlon. For Eric Winalda, Ty Q, and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.